Joining us now is Randolph Rice, the attorney for Rachel's mother, Patty Morin. First of all, I've just got to ask you how the family's doing. I have had Patty on this show in the past. I know this is the kind of ordeal no mother ever wants to have to endure, and they plan on being in the courtroom every day.
Exactly right, Elizabeth. I mean, they are certainly nervous about this. They're anxious about it. I had numerous text messages with Patty today where she was concerned about the jury selection, which started today. So they're ready for this to get started. And Patty certainly has said that, she's got her faith in God and that she's left it up to him. She really says, I really have no control over this, and just waits to see justice served.
Yesterday in a pretrial conference, the defense presented several last-minute motions, including expanding the jury questionnaire. Why did they do that, and how did the judge rule on that?
Yeah, so expanding a jury questionnaire is a tactic that the defense often uses to try to get more information about jurors. Think about this, Elizabeth. The more information you know about a potential juror, the better chance you have of potentially excluding them, because you may not like the perspective on, say, immigration or race or how they believe they may rule in the case. So it was an attempt by the defense to just gain more information, and Judge Curtin denied almost all of their motions yesterday, pretty much saying, look, I've already got voir dire, which is the process by which we question these jurors, and we've got it set up to where we think we can get a fair and impartial jury.
Yeah. What kind of, what other questions might they have been looking for? What is it they're hoping to get in this jury, do you believe? The defense, as opposed to the prosecution?
Yeah, the defense actually had 50 additional modifications of broadening questions. 50 additional modifications they wanted to make to the questionnaire. They were looking for things like, had you contributed to the GoFundMe page for the family? Had you contributed to the state's attorney's campaign? Very detailed questions about, had you gone to the crime scene? Had you even used the crime scene, which is a trail that's used by almost everybody in that county, because they want to find out if they, have an opportunity to or know something that could help or hurt the defense.
This was such a horrific case, and for so long we had no idea where this man was. We had that mysterious video showing him leaving a house in the LA area. We only knew what the back of his head looked like. For the longest time, I'm sure Patty thought justice would elude her. Now that you're so close, I can't imagine how nerve-wracking this must be.
And you're right, Elizabeth. I mean, there was that 10-month period where there really was no new information other than we had the DNA, we had that video, as you just mentioned, from that crime in March of 23 in California. But aside from that, I wouldn't say they were losing hope, but it certainly was getting to the point where they were getting a little worried. And then miraculously, there was that IgG, that investigative genetic genealogy hit that led the detectives to Southern Maryland, that led them to a name that ultimately led them to that bar in Tulsa, which arrested him. So they are anxious about what is coming up in the next couple of weeks. But like I said, Patty has mentioned, she has her faith in God that's going to carry her through this.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.